Alright, I'm going to try to make a video. I hate this little 10-minute time frame. But the context or purpose of today's video is I'm going to try to explain and show you what it means to be stiff-necked and to harden your heart against God. And I'm going to show you how it relates to Pharaoh, so don't be like Pharaoh. Pharaoh was given 3 warnings and he failed each time. He was rebuked 3 times to let the people go, right? And so he received 10 plagues. And I don't think it's any coincidence at all that he received 10 plagues, right? So it's going to all tie back into keeping the commandments. So let's first start in Proverbs 29:1. Okay, so it reads, "For one is often reproved, hardening his neck is suddenly broken, and there is no healing." So if you're being reproved or rebuked pretty often and you're not listening, you're doing the opposite. You're hardening your heart, okay? So then we're going to go into Psalm 78, and I'm just going to try to read through this quickly, verses 1 through 22. It says, "Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from our children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works of old, which he has done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that has not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of God, and refused to walk in his law, and forgot his works and his wonders which he showed them. Marvelous things did he did in the sight of their fathers, in the land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan. He divided the sea, and caused them to pass through, and he made the waters to stand as a heap. In the daytime also he led them with the cloud, and all the night with the light of fire. He clave the rocks in the wilderness, and gave them drinks as out of the great depths. He brought streams also out of the rock, and caused waters to run down like rivers. And they sinned yet against him by provoking the Most High in the wilderness, and they tempted God in their heart by asking meat for their lust. Yet they spoke against God. They said, Can God furnish us a table in the wilderness, mocking him? Behold, he smote the rock, that the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. Can his people give bread also? Can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people? Therefore the Lord heard this, and he was wroth. So a fire was kindled against Jacob, and anger also came up against Israel, because they believed not in God and not trusted in his salvation." So he literally just gave you the life-giving waters out of the rock of Horeb, the 10 commandments. He showed you salvation right there, and you refused. Therefore the children of Israel hardened their hearts with this. So here, Exodus 32:8, "For they have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them, and they made for themselves a molded calf, and have bowed themselves to it, and slaughtered to it, and said, This is now your mighty one, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim." Yahuwah said to Moses that I have seen this people, and see that you are a stiff-necked people. Why? Because you refuse to listen to your Creator and you refuse to keep the commandments. Now, how do the commandments at all line up with the hardening of your heart? Let me show you. So 2 Chronicles 30, verse let's start in 7. Do not be like your fathers and like your brothers who trespassed against Yah, Elohim of their fathers, so that he gave them up to ruins, as you see. Now do not stiffen your neck like your fathers. Stretch forth the hand to Yah, and come to his set apart place, which he has set apart forever, and serve Yah your Elohim, so that his burning wrath turns away from you. So what does it mean to come to the Father, to his set apart place? What has he set apart from beginning to end? His holy covenant that he gave all of us. So now we're in Deuteronomy 10. Let's start in verse, 12. And now, Israel, what is Yah your Elohim asking of you, but to fear Yah your God, to walk in all of his ways, to love him and to serve him with all your heart and with all your being, to guard the commands of Yah and his laws, which I command you today for your good. See, the heavens and the heaven of heavens belongs to Yah your Elohim, also the earth with all that is in it. Yah delighted only in your fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, and you above all peoples, as it is today. And you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart, and harden your neck no more. Don't be stiff-necked to the Father. Learn what he is telling you. So what does this mean, to harden your neck no more and to circumcise the foreskin of your heart? So we're going to go into Acts 7:51 real quick. That says, you stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, why do you always resist the Holy Spirit as your fathers did? So do you. Why are you resisting the Spirit of truth that you cannot receive unless you keep the 10 Commandments? Why do I say that it's the 10 Commandments? Because Deuteronomy 5:22 tells you that these 10 Commandments were written with the finger of God, and he added no more to these, okay? So now let's go into, what is it, 2 Chronicles. I get a little time, so I'll shuffle through some scriptures with you. 2 Chronicles 5 and verse 10. Okay, here we go. So circumcising the foreskin of your heart. You got to think of your heart as the Ark of the Covenant. What went inside the Ark of the Covenant? It wasn't the law written by Moses, that was put on the side as a witness. But inside the ark, right here, 2 Chronicles 5, verse 10. For there is nothing in the ark except for the 2 tablets which Moses put in there at Horeb, when Yah made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. This is how you circumcise your heart. This is how you give ear to God. This is how you become no longer stiff-necked. This is how you no longer harden your heart. You must first submit yourself and come into covenant with the Father. That is keeping these 10 Commandments. So I pray that you guys hear this. I pray you go seek these things out for yourself. Don't listen to me, but listen to what these scriptures actually tell you. Okay? Don't be stiff-necked like Pharaoh. Your time is short. Pharaoh's days came to an end, and so will yours if you're not in covenant.